Aku belum pakai lagi dah.
Okay lah, since episode tadi quite inspiring kan. Okay lah, kita main lagu ni.
Oh my god.
What song is this?
Kado tak tahu.
Ni semua dia tak tahu.
It's one of
Hey.
Aku suka
I
satu
know
line
this
tu.
song, man.
Aku satu line aku suka. Kepala atas angin, kaki di atas bumi. Okay.
Do you know this rap? You really remember?
Yeah. This chorus is from me. And then this one feature dengan Joe Fizzo.
Yes.
Tolong tepi sikit.
Boleh.
Boleh lah.
Aku tak pernah saya.
Okay. Welcome back guys. Welcome back
Thank you.
to Tumpuk-Tumpuk Tak Unta. This is our third episode with Mr. Syarif and Mrs. Malaque.
Boleh. Miss pun boleh.
Miss pun boleh. Lagi
MS
suka
lah,
Miss.
MS.
Hari ni je boleh. Lain hari tak boleh.
Aku lagi sikit tercakap madam.
Madam.
Boleh lah. Madam macam
biasa,
cikgu
tak biasa. Macam cikgu.
Okay guys, tadi you were touching on your transition. You came to Dubai and why you chose Dubai and a few countries that you shortlisted. Okay, now you mentioned a few other countries, but I think that is your vision to cover the other countries. I really wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Tapi sebelum kita reach that, I want to actually understand your thought process, your the expectation when you actually wanted to come to Dubai. What was it? Expectations?
To be really honest, right? I did not have any expectations. Okay, like I know it's a complex market, right? Dubai is the branding of Dubai is very prestigious, very glamorous,
The
right?
Dubai name
Brand,
itself
the
is
Dubai
a brand.
brand,
Yes.
right? So I'm looking at the positioning of my brand being in Dubai to achieve my other visions.
Okay,
In
okay.
Dubai, this must be really something.
Right,
The
right.
big players. I'm looking at catching the big fishes
Okay.
because of you get me? As a branding strategy.
Yeah.
Buat duit tak buat duit bahkan cerita lah dulu, but of course business you want it to be positive, you get me? But it is the branding and the position of the brand.
You want Chulop to be at almost everybody's tongue.
In a way,
yeah, as a brand lah.
Yeah, and
The
also to
branding,
give
The visibility
more,
lah.
Yeah, the visibility
Yes.
lah.
He wants people to know that churros has actually arrived Dubai.
No,
already
it's not
competing.
churros. It's not churros. It's Chulop.
Oh, chulop. Sorry.
Chulop.
Okay.
It's Chulop.
Have
It's
actually,
his brand.
yeah. So have actually arrived Dubai,
Dubai.
competing
Correct.
in that level.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
you
not
know,
about churros. It's
Yeah.
about Chulop.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, chulop.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's all about. I mean, business is all about visibility. And how people perceive your brand, to trust your brand and stuff like that. So my expectation is it's not going to be easy, definitely. I've heard stories from Chef Akmal. He has his own sets of challenges. It's a foreign land and stuff like that. And the demographics is a bit complex. The population, the target mix, So you have to be smart about how you enter and when you enter, the right place at the right time, how you enter your branding, how you pump your social media marketing. And semua yang kita jumpa these past 2 days, they all say the same thing. The one thing in common is, down here, Dubai, the social media game is very, very competitive. You have to be
Local, really.
you have to upkeep. You have to upkeep your needs, influencer and stuff like that. But some of them say, cepat naik, cepat turun juga. You can get the hype the overnight and then after that you just crash.
Yeah.
So again, at the very end, your product has to speak for itself.
Okay.
If your product is good, people will keep on returning. You diversify your product through services for corporate. I supply this to this cafe, to this restaurant. From B2C, you go to B2B, and then you cover all aspects through one product. I think you're pretty much sorted lah, in a sense. By with the point that you have to keep your operational costs at a very sustainable price lah. Yeah.
Okay. That's the observation. Okay, from from this from the people that you actually met.
Yeah.
How about your observation? Because I flipped through your Insta story. You actually visited a few cafes.
Yeah.
So what is your observation from the cafes there?
You wanna see what do you think about it?
To me, everything it's dramatized. Everything like macam
Extravagant.
extravagant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you walk in Dubai Mall, actually I noticed something and I told him, you know what? If you see there is no like a takeaway kiosk. It's like everybody who just wants to chill, wants to be
Want to be
seen.
seen, yeah.
It's know
Yeah.
like we walk and
Yeah,
walk.
It is in the culture.
Yeah, it's
There's
in the
nothing wrong with it. You know,
Correct, yeah.
you cannot compare what's readily accepted in Singapore
Correct.
compared to in Dubai.
Yes.
People live differently here.
Correct.
Their perception of life is different.
Correct.
Their way of life is totally different from ours.
So we
But,
have to be
yeah.
very smart and very calculated in the next move. Do you want it to be like does it have to be in the mall or can it be by the beach or is it event? So that's the takeaways that we have to think, with all this information.
I think a few days ago, one of my cousin who's running a aeroviation business, aeroviation kat Singapore. He
okay.
was asking me about the same thing because he wants to try and
Penetrate.
into this market because he's looking at school students taking up interest in aeroviation, piloting course, this and that. So this is the one thing that I told him. You need to learn the demography of the people down here. Once you know the demography, then you can decide next what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because there's no point if you want to open up, but down here, none of the kids are actually interested in aviation because the kids right now, Gen Z, Gen
Alpha.
they are most interested in like
Content creation.
Yeah, YouTube.
sports.
Yeah.
Down here, sports for the kids. Aeronautical aviation, not really that much. So that's what I advise him. Just if you want to come down here and learn about the
Understand.
demography. Learn the demography, then you will know the culture. Then you will know the trends.
Yeah.
What's good for his business.
Yeah.
And then for F&B, I think for the past 2 days, I'm very sure you've seen quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot. We met with small medium enterprises.
Yeah.
We met with the business development of
Correct.
huge corporations. Some people turn us down.
Yeah. Some people straight
Some
away
people, you only have one thing on the menu, blah, blah, blah. And then some became a therapy session where they said, I regretted
exchange,
opening this here,
Yeah.
the location and all those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very colorful and
very insightful for us.
very insightful. So we understand, okay, this problem is this. Okay, this guy went through this, or this guy brought Philly Cafe to a different level, and that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. So there's a lot of take backs. We didn't expect a breakthrough through this meeting.
Yeah, of
Of course
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's about connection. It's about
Yes.
meeting you guys.
Yeah.
To know a little bit more how you guys have been living your life. What do you guys
Yes.
consume on a day-to-day basis? What are you guys
Steroids, bro.
what are you guys exposed to?
Yeah.
What do the locals like? Do the locals really consume these kind of things?
Yeah, and these are going to be very helpful for us to macam take the next step.
Because
decide.
sometimes
Yes.
your vision might not be the vision that you set 5 years ago. It can alter.
Yes,
It doesn't mean
yes.
that you set the vision 5 years ago. You have to
have to,
follow by it, right? You go to the market, you say, okay, maybe there's something better out there for me. Maybe I didn't see it like that when I wrote down that UAE is one of the places for me to
Yeah.
penetrate.
Because I think also because you've been doing business locally in Singapore, right? Your model has always been the Singapore way,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
The Singapore industry.
Yeah.
So coming to another country is totally different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Touching on that, okay, I wanted to ask thank you because you opened the door already.
Yeah.
Okay, now that you actually came here 2-3 days, you look at the restaurants, you look at the F&B outlets over here. Is there a good takeaway that you take it from here and bring it to Singapore and you apply or your Southeast Asia market and you apply it there and you know it will work?
Role reversal lah.
Yeah.
Role reversal lah.
Yeah. And
Um,
I don't know whether in terms of marketing, the way you present it, the way the layout of the shop, this kind of thing. Or maybe it's an opportunity for your fourth meal brand. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would say, I think a lot of people that I met these 2 days, most of them look up to Singapore. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, like some of them say that even the locals, the Emiratis say that
We are a copycat.
we want to follow you.
Yeah.
Like what's trending in Singapore, we try to bring in and stuff. I don't know whether that's like a diplomatic
Yeah.
kind of
I think it's true.
it's true.
It's true.
It's
Yeah,
somewhat true lah.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Because I work with locals.
Yeah.
They say the same thing as well. Yeah. So actually, whatever we have been practicing in Singapore could be practiced over here, but we have to be smarter and more calculated. Yeah. So whatever we have here, right? Actually, right, it's already in Singapore for quite some time already. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that is the take back. So I feel like it's more of, okay, how do I go back? How do I penetrate here? Do I do a churros with a karak chocolate dip? Something like that. Do I do a coated? Those kind of things. That what do the locals say? Okay, everywhere they're selling karak.
Yeah.
There's a 1 dirham, 3 dirham karak
1
at
dirham,
old Dubai, and then there's a 13 dirham karak with saffron and presented nicely.
Shaiwala.
Those kind of stuff like that.
So where do you want to
How do you want to go? Where do you want to cater? Yeah, so I think it's more of that. Of course, some of the things that is being practiced here, you cannot be practiced in Singapore because there's too much rules and regulation in Singapore.
Okay, understand.
Yeah, in terms of showmanship, in terms of we don't have the space.
Yeah, limitations.
Limitations
Yeah.
of space.
Yeah.
Down here you have high ceiling glass.
Yeah, you can do anything.
Anything, you have a
Design,
mimbar in Harum Manis.
In fact, so some of the restaurants of that side, they actually have valet. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things, the luxury things that we cannot have in Singapore because of the scarcity of land and the more square foot, the more expensive and stuff.
Yes.
Singapore is a very tough market. It's very dense and very populated, but it is not necessarily that all places can make it.
Okay.
So that's my take back. It's both. It's not one way or another. It's both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ada pros and cons, yeah.
So is that why in Singapore you only have one branch of Chulok?
Yeah. One branch of Chulok, but I diversify my services to reach to as many people as I can.
Right.
Corporate.
Correct.
Aku buat wedding lah.
Right.
Satu wedding tu orang engage aku 500 aku serve. Dalam 500 tu
Word of mouth.
word of mouth travel to the next live station service that I do. You get me? Wedding cake we do for our bombs and stuff like that. So
we don't just do B2C to customer.
Okay, since you mentioned that you want to cover all the market as much as possible, how do you compete? I'm talking about Singapore context now.
Yeah.
How do you compete with those that we actually see every day on Instagram? I don't want to mention names lah, tapi banyak lah sekarang dekat Instagram, on Facebook, where they actually open in the macam bazaar, Geylang, and they do a lot. And how do you actually, because we have, in order to steal them, you have to steal their attention on social media.
Yeah.
So how do you compete with them?
you're talking about Singapore market.
Yeah, Singapore market.
Consistency, bro.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent.
Dia punya chill. Consistency lah bro. Kau masih tahu consistency lah bro.
You're right. Consistency, and you have to trust your process. You have to trust your process. You don't be pressured by
The trending.
dia orang buat marketing macam
way,
ni
yeah.
kena macam gini kena gaduh kena macam ni. You are pressured. Aku do the same thing But it's not you as a brand. You are not on brand. You stick. You believe in the outlook and the
brand language, the brand look,
the brand position and stuff like. You stick to it and you be consistent about it. Means every 2 days ada content. Every 2 months ada new service atau ada new products and stuff like that. And then you do content out of it and stuff like that. So
I think for me when I take a look at your social media, and I would say your brand reflects your personality, and because it's like chill, but there's consistency, like you said. So some other brands will reflect their own punya personality. The viral stuff. Gaduh sana, gaduh sini. Making things like unnecessary. But for him, it's like that is his personality, and that's how he engages with on social
my
media.
audience.
At current, you are macam at current, you are the face of the company, right?
Not
Okay.
really
Okay.
lah.
Carry on.
Okay, do you see yourself collaborating with others artists? Some people they want to use the leverage of macam influencer yang banyak punya followers, and then so they can actually divert their followers into your space. You get me? Do you see yourself collaborating, or you have collaborated?
Yeah, we have collaborated with a couple of influencers, for product seeding and stuff like that, just to reach to their demographic, because their followers might not be my followers. Right? But to just circle back to I'm the face of the brand. You won't see my face on Bombs and Buns punya Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I don't front Bombs and Buns, but I on my personal Instagram show the processes I go through for Bombs and Buns. For example, Chulup, yes, I'm the face. I used to be everywhere on Chulup, but now my marketing guy take charge and stuff like that. So my Instagram, I tell the story, but you don't see my story on the corporate, the brand's Instagram.
Okay.
So talking about that, of course, I use the services of other influencers and other artists. Hey bro, do a shout out. I send you my new gift. How much do you charge and stuff like that, so that I can reach the followers. Because I have to admit, even though I have a certain amount of following or whatever, it does not necessarily convert to leads. Sometimes I need new followers to not know me, but know about my business. Right. Because I think the younger ones, the younger influencers are coming up. Those kind of things. Yeah.
Okay, sorry I have to jump a bit. Okay, because we are now banyak benda nak share.
Tapi boleh lah. Take your time.
Okay, so now you're having a family. You have 2 beautiful children. You have a lovely wife, and then you have 5 different restaurant outlets. Yeah.
No lah, not 5.
3. No, the one in Malaysia.
Oh yeah.
The one in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So how do you actually manage all this? How macam mana kau bagi masa untuk kerja, untuk family, your immediate family, your extended family? How?
Hanya Tuhan yang tahu. Tak ada.
Menyampah. Tapi betul lah, alhamdulillah.
Betul lah.
You know what you need? You need a good team.
Yeah.
You need a good team. You cannot do it all.
Cannot.
You cannot do it all.
No.
And I have to come to terms that I cannot do it all. You have to hire good people. You have to groom them. You have to
Empower them.
that I believe you can do this. I believe you can take care of this outlet clearly, and treat it like it's yours. I reward them. I'm not saying that I'm a good employee or whatever. We are all humans. We make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. No system is perfect. The government is not perfect, so there cannot be any perfection in a system or a management. They have to come to terms with that. And I share with them the struggles. I go on ground with them, and they see the struggles together with me, and we come out of it together. So when I establish a team, then I have time for other things. Because they are taking care of the groundworks, and they are putting out the fire on behalf of me, and making sure that the brand is at its optimal as to what I expected. And you as an owner have to understand and have to come to terms that for as long as you are not in the business, in the process or in the ground, you cannot do 100%. Nobody can do it like how you want to do it. They can do it better than you because they do it every day, but it might not be the way you want to do it.
But you have to be the leader.
Correct. So what is your role as a CEO or managing director is to grow the brand. If you work in the business, you cannot work on the business. You get what I mean? If I grow the business, everyone under the establishment who believes that the business can grow and see my direction and believe in the process will grow together with me. So I tell them my vision, I share with them, with my vision and stuff like that. They run the business. I have a bit of time, to think of meet people like you guys, network and stuff like that. That's my role. And of course, time for the family and all that. Yeah. So you cannot do it all. You need to hire people, do the things, but you have to know each and every aspect of the business. Marketing, logistic, jadi driver. I do all that. Jadi steward, cuci, and all that, repair. We do all that. Yeah.
I think, but touching on family, and we've practiced something that, like, even from when the kids were babies, they follow us to work.
I
Buat
was about to ask
baby
that
wear.
question.
Dia baby wear.
doing
Umar tengah buat dough.
Yeah.
We have Bibi, but Bibi also come to work. Bila dah tidur, kasih Bibi gendong. So it's like it's integration.
Yes.
Not
So
even
it's
like a work-life balance.
Yeah. So in
it's
entrepreneurship, I practice work-life integration.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is for the future. So you bring your children, what to work, this kind of thing. Yeah, dengan tak secara langsung, are you trying to like expose them to the work?
Yeah.
To the hardship, so that when they grow up, when you're younger, I remember I was there while doing the door. So you can actually tell a story.
Yeah.
Or kalau bagus lagi, alhamdulillah, insyaAllah, they open up, other things as well.
Yeah.
Continuing the legacy lah.
yeah.
Legacy.
So
That's happening
you've
with Salma.
heard you've heard a lot of stories, or successful business taken over by the second generation and bring it to another level, right? Because the first generation didn't manage to achieve that, So I'm not forcing. If she doesn't have interest and stuff like that, she wants to do her other business. She's into nails now, and she wants to do like a
Acrylic
nail
nails.
tag and stuff like that, But she, in all, she has the entrepreneurship spirit.
Yep.
Alright. So I tak force, tapi kalau boleh, alhamdulillah lah, I nak lah, for my kids to take over. And this is not only for me, but for the family and for the staff that has been staying with me for the past 10 years, and growing this together with me. Yeah. So for my kids, definitely I do it for my family. Hence, dengan tak secara langsung, it's also for them to take on, to another level. But
Kalau tak nak, then it's okay.
but I want to tell them that entrepreneurship is something yang betul-betul digalakkan lah. In all sense lah. But it's not for the faint-hearted. Yeah, so you don't shake your leg and think that it's gonna be an easy route for you. Yeah, I'm gonna make them wash the dishes and stuff like that.
That's true lah. Sekiranya kalau macam dishwasher tu rosak, someone have to wash it.
Yeah.
They have to do it, means they have to do it lah. Yeah.
Mesin rosak pergi repair.
Mesin rosak, kau tahulah apa kau nak buat 4 jam lah. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much guys. But before we end, I think we covered a lot already.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, thank you so much. But before that, as usual in the third episode, we allow our guests to have a few words individually to the fans, or anything that you want people to take note of your journey, that you want to say your last, not say your last words, but then, your last things that you want to tell them before we call it a day.
Advice.
No, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much to my beloved customers that has been giving.
Aku customer.
Yes.
Customer.
That have been trusting,
The brand.
the brand and the process, and menyokong anak Melayu Singapura yang berniaga dan ingin membuat nama untuk tanah air kita. So I just want to say
Undi lah.
Only yes.
thank you so much for the trust, and I enjoy like constructive feedbacks. So I take them with all my sincerity and all that. And also I just want to share to fellow entrepreneurs, Malay Muslim entrepreneurs in particular, don't feel demoralized or don't feel that you are less just because you are a minority living in a country with a majority. You get what I mean? So you are no less than any of other entrepreneurs. If you have the mind, you believe in your product, you trust your process, and find avenues to get funded or to tap on these grants, and believe and just go with it. Just go with it and try with all your might to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yes. Okay, how about you?
Me.
Yeah.
Business advice, jangan buat business lah. Kita tak. No lah. I mean, truth is business is hard, but you gotta. Kalau you have the right support, you have the right partners, you can find a way lah to do things together. This is like if let's say the business is like a partnership between husband and wife. It's tough. It's not for everybody. So you gotta be very professional. Also, if like you're dealing, work is work, family is family. It's very, very difficult not to mix the two. Yeah, so you got to be very, very focused. What's your mission, and then you work towards it, and then santai je, just jalankan lah. Everything is a phase. Ada up, ada down. Just got to ride through it lah.
Okay.
The journey is still continuing.
Okay, guys. So she mentioned about partner. So Syarif, do you have anything that you want to say to your wife, or you want to say anything to your husband through this journey of business?
Lagu seram lah.
Yeah.
No, I just want to say thank you so much to my wife. You know, she has been my pillar, and she has seen me at my best,
Yes.
seen me at my worst,
Yes.
and I think she's still there. I don't know whether she believes in my vision, no, but I think the support that she gives and the understanding. It's not easy understanding an entrepreneur's journey, lah. Yeah, you know, sometimes you don't bring back money. You know, sometimes you bring back this amount of money. You know, but she knows my niat lah, and important is what's my niat, who is it for, and why am I doing it? You get me? Yeah. So
First time really.
thank you so much.
Takkan dia cakap you tak cakap apa-apa. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much lah for bringing the brands, the products to a greater height every time. Because what I wanted to start with is just like a small, small side passion project.
Yep.
But it got to where it is now is because of course Allah's will, and also most of the hard work is actually His hard work. Yeah. So thank you, B.
Yeah, thank you, B. Yes. Alright guys, thank you so much.
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you, everybody.
To Mr. and Mrs. Syarif,
Yes.
thank you very much for coming and
No
becoming
problem.
our guest. And kalau you know us now, we are in
Yeah.
Dubai anytime.
Anytime,
Inshallah.
I have a room. If you need to stay for a few days, you don't have to stay in the hotel.
Dia tak
Just give
pernah
us
offer
call.
aku. Sah.
Kau ada rumah sendiri.
Rumah sendiri.
Kalau kau datang rumah aku, kau kena jaga anak-anak aku. Aku nak.
Alright, thank you so much, inshallah. And to all our followers, do not forget to follow, like and share.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you have any other comments or any suggestion, you can actually just DM us.
Thank you
Alright.
so much, guys.
Salam sayang daripada kami di Tompok Tai Unta.